from this area. Let's start by going north. So right up north, 45 minutes from here, is a beautiful state park called High Falls State Park. So it's right off 75. And in fact, I'll give you like a little pro tip when you're traveling to bundle these two trips together. But when you go to High Falls State Park, you can camp there, but we usually just make a day trip of it to go do a little hike. It is not hard. They have 3 different loops that you can do: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. They also have a historical trail that you can take if you like that. It's got a beautiful waterfall, so it's just very peaceful as you hike throughout this pretty forest and just hear that water the whole time. So that's High Falls State Park. If you want to bundle it and do lunch right after your hike, there was, if you've ever seen Fried Green Tomatoes, that movie, that was filmed here in Georgia. So it's called the Whistle Stop Cafe, and that is actually in Juliet, Georgia. So it is literally just 15 minutes away from High Falls State Park. So we love to go on a little hike and then go hit up some lunch afterwards. The fried green tomatoes are actually so delicious. Last time I went, I had a fried green tomato burger. So go hit that up because it's just so fun and it's part of history, and it's fun to just kind of relive that fried green tomato. So maybe the night before, go watch Fried Green Tomatoes with your family and then go do that little day trip the next day. So that's High Falls State Park. Next place is Nashville, is only 6 hours from us. That is not too far. I mean, maybe it's not a day trip per se. It depends on who you talk to about day trips. But Nashville is close, that you can go hit it up. So if you love barbecue, you love country music, that's a super fun place to be. I've only gone there twice, so we did just a lot of eating and walking around, so I can't even say all the wonderful fun things to do, but just know it's close enough that you can make a trip of it. Another place that's super fun for a day trip specifically is Atlanta. So Atlanta's an hour and a half north of us. You just literally jump on I-75, go straight up, and it has so many fun things to do. It has the World of Coke Museum that you can go and taste the Cokes from all around the world, which is hilarious and so funny. And you can go to the aquarium if you love that kind of stuff. My husband and I just went last weekend and we ended up going to the Melting Pot, which was on my bucket list to try. It's a fun restaurant that you go, you have a 4-course dinner, you've got your, salad, but you also have your appetizers. So your appetizers is like a cheese fondue, so they make it right in front of you. You have this hot plate on your table, so they make it right in front of you, and then you have all these things to dip it in. Then you have your entree, and you cook all of that yourself too on cast iron, or we chose this Coke de wine. I don't even know, but it was fun to just kind of make the meats ourselves, and then you have dessert, which is chocolate fondue. So a fun little experience. They also have the Fox Theater up there that you can do Broadway shows. I've seen a couple up there and so fun. Wicked was playing there a couple of years ago that we went to. They have this beautiful park in the middle of Atlanta. It has this giant Ferris wheel that you can do, and that's just puts you in walking distance of all the really fun things. The zoo, the aquarium, the World of Coke Museum. So those are just a few things that you can put on your list. They also have great concerts up there. We went to my husband's favorite band a few weeks ago, Novo Amor, and that was in a fun little area called Buckhead of Atlanta. And so it was just a fun shopping district. It was a fun area to be in. Lots of fun little restaurants and boutiques. So Atlanta's always a crowd favorite. Next place you could go to is, I'm just gonna note these because they're not necessarily day trips as well. So you've got Nashville, that I told you about, but you also have Blue Ridge, 4 hours away, that is in northern Georgia. So we stayed in a cabin up there. So it's like more of your cabin, rustic feel. You're nestled just right in the mountains. You can go do, Ella J is right close to Blue Ridge, so you can go do some apple picking in the fall, watch the leaves change. Like, it is just beautiful. It's definitely a way to just soak up that nature, and beautiful hikes up there as well. And then Chattanooga is also only 4 hours away up north as well. Tons of fun things. They have a beautiful cave that you can go down inside. They had created this like mine. I think it is called Rosie's Mine actually. Go look it up because it's so fun. You basically get sent down this elevator shaft down into the middle of the earth in this mountain, and you walk and walk and walk through these cave systems until you get to this giant room that opens up into this beautiful waterfall. So that was really iconic and fun to see too. Lots of fun food choices up there, lots of hiking up there as well. And the leaves changing the fall time is absolutely beautiful. All right, so now we've hit up our north. Let's go east. Savannah is our favorite day trip. It's about 2.5 hours away. We've done this many a time on just a day trip. Maybe 2.5 hours was pushing it for a day trip, but we've made it work. So we love to, they have a really fun escape room there. I don't remember the name of it. I was thinking about this right before. I should have found the name for y'all, but comment below if you want the name of it if you're gonna go, because it is, I think they have 3 or 4 there, and the one that we go to every single time is so good. It's so good. It's great with customer service. They give you great deals and coupons, and we've never been disappointed with them. So the escape room's awesome. They have this trolley ride that you can go around the town. We use that as public transportation. So we basically go to Savannah, we stop in the little parking lot for this trolley, and that's where we stay parked all day long, because city parking in Savannah is really difficult. There's not much of it, and then it's expensive to park. So we just stay parked there. We buy the trolley tickets, and then it takes us through, and I think there's like 15 different stops, something like that. So it's historically based, right? So they tell you all about the history, which is so fun to hear. But then you can jump on and off every single stop as many times as you want throughout the day, as long as that trolley system is open. So we use that as our way to get around town. They have River Street down below right next to the river, which is really fun place to just kind of walk along. They've got little city markets. They actually were one of the most successful stops and places for the Underground Railroad, just because people could disappear, the slaves could disappear in these ports. I will say, if you're a partier, they love March time. Like the whole town comes alive at St. Patrick's Day. You know, I'm not personally a drinker, but if you love that kind of stuff, it's definitely a good place for like the night scene for the evening time. Like my family and I, we just hang out during the day and then go do our own things in the hotel, or head back home in the evening. But if you love bar hopping or just being able to party at night, or clubs, they have a lot of that in the evenings. They also have Tybee Island, which is very close to Savannah. It's about 10-15 minutes away, which is a little beach. So we go over there and have just a little beach day sometimes, and that is one of the closest beaches to us. We're really close to Savannah. We're also really close to all of your Gulf of Mexico, Florida side beaches down there as well. So that's a fun Eastern trip if you want to make that. Now let's go down south. So we're gonna go hit Orlando, which this is maybe not a day trip. I know a friend who did this in a day and it tired them out, but that's about 5 hours. But another one that you could do in a day is Itchitucknee Springs. So this one is about 2.5 hours away. This is a state park. You just drive south right on 75, and it is the most beautiful tubing I have ever experienced. Like, we go all the time as a family to Amerson River up in Macon. There's gators everywhere. So before you ask me, yes, there is gators. There's actually signs that warn you at Itchitucknee Springs, like there's gators, just watch out for them. We've never had an issue. I've literally never seen them as we've gone tubing all the times we've gone. The Amerson River is about 30 minutes away from us up north in Macon, and that's one we go to multiple times every single summer. But it's kind of like the brown water. You have no idea what's under there. Like, you know, you just go because you need something cool to do on a hot day in Georgia, honestly. But Itchitucknee Springs was so refreshing because it's bright blue water. You can see, it's just crystal clear. You can see everywhere. Beautiful, like Everglade tree type of looking things that just kind of overhang the river as you're going down it. So Itchitucknee Springs was absolutely gorgeous. We actually brought scuba gear as well, and they have these underground like cisterns and underground, I don't even know. I get a little nervous of that stuff. So I didn't personally do it, but we had friends in our group who did it. So Itchitucknee Springs, if you want to go south. Now let's hit up some west. So Columbus is about an 1.5-hour drive west of us, and it's a great place for whitewater rafting. I did that a couple of years ago on Mother's Day with all of my kids, and it was such a blast. I did it with a couple other moms. We just wanted to treat ourselves to that. And it's a fun place. They have tons of trails all over the town for bike riding. So it's for a lot of outdoor enthusiasts, people who just love to be in the outdoors. And like I said, the whitewater rafting is great. I'll have to go look up some stats for you guys with this, but anyway, I didn't before this. Go look it up. Go look up whitewater rafting in Columbus, Georgia, because it was a man-made river specifically for whitewater rafting. So you can get all of your rapids. We usually go in class 3, but they have all the way up to class 5. So that's a really fun trip. They have zip lining in town, like I said, bike riding. They do a lot of festivals up there. They have a bridge that goes over the whole river, and a lot of times they'll do like vendors will set up there, or they'll have like a food truck day or an international day where they have just tons of vendors and different food people, so you can just walk along those tents and do that. They also have a really beautiful large lawn right next to the river that they do concerts, live music, and things like that. All right, so there's your trips. Where do you want to go first? Because they are all so fun places to go. And honestly, if you wanted to go up to Atlanta, an hour and a half north, like we were talking about earlier, and get to the airport and go anywhere you want, you can also do that. I've noticed that our airport actually has a lot cheaper tickets than a lot of the different places that I've lived in the United States. I used to live close to the Baltimore and Washington, D.C. airport, and tickets were always way more expensive there. So the Atlanta airport is the biggest airport in the United States, and that's probably why they give you a little bit cheaper tickets, I'm guessing. So travel is relatively inexpensive and just fun to do. So go experience Georgia, go experience everywhere, and it's easy and fun to do from Middle Georgia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys on the next video, and I do want to hear about your trips and where you guys are going and where you're taking your family when they visit from out of town. All right, have a great day.